Very good to see you again.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, we're in the middle now of the process of connecting our animal soul with our holy soul. And then the process is generally the process of davening. The process of davening is really an opportunity that a person can use his understanding, and through his understanding, he can feel the importance of what he's doing and the implication of what he's thinking about. And this excitement, as it's in level of the internet, intellectual level, has an opportunity to influence his animal soul. As it's clear that person is pulled towards what he thinks is important, what he thinks is enjoyable, what he is amazed about. It's pulled towards these things. So these are the things that we are using during the process of the davening to pull in the animal soul that he should be unified with, together with the Holy Soul. And then this is what we call making a person.
Making
This
of a
is the
person.
making of a person. Right? And therefore, now we've gone through the steps, different steps. We're now at the step of the thinking, what do you have to think in the time of saying the Shema. Okay, as we know that the Shema is the standard point, one of the standard points of the whole Yiddishkeit, of being Jewish, is the fact that we have a perception of the world which is not like the rest of the world. In other words, the physical world has its limitations in terms of concepts that it can have, things which it can understand. And since a Jew has a soul which is coming from such a high spiritual, above spiritual source, is unified with the Creator. So therefore, the soul itself is not in need so much of a proof, an intellectual proof of the reality of the Creator. It's like it's so to speak, it's obvious to the soul. So therefore, when we come to the point where we have to think about we're into the fact that there's nothing else but the Creator. So the one who is really a vessel for that is the spiritual soul, the nefesh elokis. Since every Jew has this connection with the Creator, and this connection is above his understanding. And so therefore the concept is very close to him. But we must now deal with the fact that he has an animal soul. The animal soul is limited. It's limited to the fact that it's coming from a level of creation, which means that an essence over here. There's a reality in its perception. As we said, the world is created in such a way that we have free choice, right? We do not see that the Creator is creating everything, right? And therefore, since this is an obvious part of the fact that there's a creation, that the fact to be able to make a creation, the Creator had to, so to speak, hide himself. So therefore, this is one of the concepts that the animal soul can understand. That the very fact that there is a reality which we perceive as a separate entity is because that the infinite light of the Creator was retracted in such a way that it should not be able to be revealed at this moment. Even in the future, it will be revealed, and it will become obvious to the whole creation that the Creator is constantly creating everything from something, from nothing to something. But at this point, it's not something which is obvious to the physical eye. It's not something which is obvious to the intellectual eye. But the person could be think and understand that that's the way it is. It has to be like that. Because you could never create a from infinity and a revelation of the creator that there's nothing else with the creator to be able to create something which is able to be separate unless it was a process of hiding the light. So that's a concept that the animal soul can understand. That it has to be that this situation is a situation which implies that it must be that there was a hiding of the creator. So therefore, there has to be a creator, then he's hiding, and therefore the animal soul can come to the conclusion that it's not it's not proper to do something which contradicts the will of the Creator. Okay, it doesn't. It has to, so to speak, come to the conclusion that there must be that if I'm here and I'm being created, it must be some some content of spirituality in what I'm doing. This is not what's the difference of many animals in the world that they eat and they drink and they do physical things. So if I'm being put in the world and I have the understanding there is a creator. So therefore, it implies that it must be that I have to act different than the rest of the world. All right. Okay, that's one of the points that you can understand through his thinking. Another point is that you can understand the fact that there is no what we call this is the the process of creating a world, which afterwards there will be a revelation. It means that, so to speak, that we have a problem that what's going to happen in the end, the creator is going to reveal himself. And then what we're going to go back to the situation was before. So you have to answer this question. How could it be? Right? That what that and the end is that means that's going to be the end, and then that's it, there's no more. So the answer is that no. The end is not the end. And as I'm going back before there was nothing. And the end is the beginning when everything is going to be revealed that there's nothing else but the world will still remain an entity. And the Rebbe speaks about this concept this is the concept of Gola and Geula. That we know that Gola means that something is not in the place where it's supposed to be, right? We Jewish people are in Gola, we're not in the place we're supposed to be. The soul of a Jew is not in its proper place because it can't be revealed. It's in Gola, and the Shekhinah, which was revealed in the base of English, is in Galut. It does not hasn't got a place to be revealed. And the Rebbe explains that the going from Gola to Geula is the same word in Hebrew, but only a difference is you put an aleph. What this aleph means that there is a revelation in the Gola of the Creator. In other words, the world becomes a vessel that you can understand and understand is perceived. Even the physicality will call out that there's a Creator. So then every Rashab brings his example. How do you understand such a concept? It brings the example of a person who is a teacher, and he has very deep thoughts in his mind, and he wants to communicate to a student some concept which would be very difficult for him to understand on the level if he's not on the level of the teacher. So therefore, he had to be able to transmit the concept to the student. So he has to come up with some sort of an idea, a mush something, some kind of a concept that he could be able to grasp. And from that concept, he could come to understand the depth of what he wants to say. So therefore, the process is that the teacher has to, so to speak, move away from what he is thinking. He must concentrate on the person, the student has to receive, and to be able to figure out what kind of concept would be able to be acceptable to the students, so that afterwards he could be able to grab the idea which he wants to say. Okay, so that's what's called the example of to be able to create the world. The Abishai made Simsum, so that there should be an opportunity. So when a teacher has such a process and he makes an example, it makes it what's called a mashal to explain the concept. That even though the student, when he hears the example, he doesn't understand the depth. After he works to make it, he could come to understand the depth. So he understands in a simple way. But the teacher sees in the example the depth. He sees the depth. And even after that the student understands the depth, the examples are still example. So too is the same kind of concept over here. That the world is, even though the world comes through Simcha, comes through hiding the light, the Creator will reveal His light in the world, so the world will be able to be a vessel to receive the light, and the world will still remain. And this we do through our constantly performing the Torah, the mitzvahs. We are bringing the infinite light of the Creator into the world, and in such a way that when it will in future will be revealed, the world itself will be a vessel to be able to reveal the infinite light, just like the student will see in the example all the depth that the teacher put into the. Okay, so that is another pointer that the animal soul could understand. And therefore, the conclusion that we want to bring to the animal soul is that at least he should understand that even though he can't grab the concept that there's nothing else and he's not there, as we find also by Goyim, that the Goyim are not they're not allowed to serve idol worship, but according to many poskim, that they're allowed to have shituf. Shiftu means that they can acknowledge that they are an entity, and the Creator is working together with them. In other words, if to completely remove the fact that they have no existence, it's not required according to these opinions. They can understand they have their own existence, but their existence has to work together with the Creator. So too, the animal soul, right? Even though he could not grasp the level of the nefesh elokis, of the Holy Soul, but at least he should be able to accept that whatever he does and he agrees to do should have a content of what the Creator wants from him. And with that, we sort of are going to leave this bonus of the Shema Israel, and Hashem should help to continue with afterwards the next part, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso. That's more his bonus for the animals. And meanwhile, we should have the Gula now, the Rebbe Melech HaMashiach, Kriya, the name of Rabbeinu Melech HaMashiach,